Before the events of The Lord of the Rings, before even the rise of Gondor and Arnor, there was a mighty kingdom, a land lost to time, swallowed by the sea. A land that once stood as the greatest empire of men, blessed by the Valar, favored by the elves, and destined for greatness. We are talking about Númenor, a place mentioned in The Lord of the Rings, expanded upon in the Silmarillion, and now brought to life in the Rings of Power series. But what is Númenor? Where did it come from? Why did it fall? And how does it connect to characters like Aragorn and Sauron? Today, we're diving deep into the rise and fall of Númenor, the lost kingdom of men. To understand Númenor, we have to go back thousands of years before the Lord of the Rings, to the end of the First Age. This was the time of Morgoth, the Dark Lord. The war against him lasted centuries, and it devastated the world. And in this war, there were a group of greatest warriors of men. The Edain, the noblest of their kind, fought alongside the elves against the Dark Lord. And as a reward for their bravery and loyalty, the Valar, the divine guardians of the world, granted them a new home. This place was Númenor, an island paradise far from the dangers of Middle-earth, and its men known as Númenóreans. Númenóreans were also gifted with long life, wisdom, and strength, more than any ordinary men, but still mortal. And for a time, they flourished. For centuries, Númenor was the greatest civilization of men. Their cities gleamed with white stone. Their knowledge surpassed even the greatest of Middle-earth, and their fleets ruled the seas. They were close allies of the elves, learning from them and even sailing to the Undying Lands, though they were forbidden from setting foot there. But power has a way of corrupting the heart, and Númenor was no exception. Over time, the Númenóreans began to change. They were blessed with long life, but not immortality. And so, they began to fear death, the one fate they could not escape. They saw the elves, who lived forever, and grew jealous. They stopped speaking the elvish tongues, turned away from the Valar, and began to believe, since they are superior than an ordinary men of Middle-earth, their destiny lay in conquering Middle-earth, not protecting it. And so the great protectors became conquerors. They built mighty colonies, subjugating the lesser men of Middle-earth, no longer satisfied with peace. And that is when Sauron, the successor of Morgoth, saw his chance. By now, Sauron had already begun conquering Middle-earth, but he feared the might of Númenor, so instead of fighting them, he tricked them. The last king of Númenor, Ar-Pharazôn the Golden, led a vast armada to Middle-earth. Sauron, seeing no path to victory, surrendered without a fight. But this was no defeat. It was the beginning of Númenor's doom. In captivity, Sauron manipulated the king, turning him and his people against the Valar. He convinced them that the Valar had cheated them of true immortality, that the secret to eternal life lay in Valinor, the land of the gods. And so, blinded by arrogance, Númenor made a fatal decision. Ar-Pharazôn, in his madness, took his fleet, the greatest ever assembled, and sailed for Valinor, seeking to take immortality by force. But the Valar do not tolerate defiance. And so, in an act unseen before or since, the Valar called upon Eru Lúvatar, the One, the creator of all things. And Eru did what had never been done before. He changed the very shape of the world. The seas rose, the earth split. Númenor was swallowed by the ocean, its cities, its people, its entire legacy lost beneath the waves. But not all perished. A group of faithful Númenóreans, led by Elendil and his sons, Isildur and Anarion, foresaw the disaster and fled to Middle-earth. They were the last remnant of Númenor, and they would become known as the Dúnedain, the kings of Gondor and Arnor. The Dúnedain carried the wisdom of Númenor, but also its sorrow, and from their bloodline, one last king would rise, Aragorn, heir of Isildur, destined to restore the legacy of Númenor. Númenor may have been lost beneath the waves, but its legacy lives on. The rise and fall of this mighty kingdom shaped the fate of Middle-earth, leading to the creation of Gondor, the journey of Aragorn, and even Sauron's return. But this is just one piece of the grand puzzle that Tolkien created. There are still so many mysteries waiting to be explored. So, what do you want to uncover next? Should we dive into the story of the Dúnedain, the forging of the Rings of Power, the lost secrets of the Undying Lands, or unravel the secrets of Valinor? Let me know in the comments below, and if you love diving deep into the Lord of the Rings lore, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that bell so you never miss an epic journey into Tolkien's world.